Phantasy Star IV, Retold. Written by Michael Plymel. Narrated by Mason Bourne. Chapter 1. Chaz. 10 meseta? I yell back to the shopkeeper. Keep dreaming, kid. Monomate costs 20 meseta. Take it or leave it. What? That's the same price listed on the sign! I look above the shopkeeper's head at the sign listing the prices of all the medicines he sells. Monomate is a simple healing potion that even a newbie hunter like me can afford. But no matter how cheap it is, I can't help but try to haggle an even better deal. I put that price there for a reason, kid. You gonna pay it or you gonna find another shop? Chaz, I hear an annoyed voice say from behind me. Don't tell me you still haven't bought your supplies. I turn and see exactly who I expect. Alice. The renowned hunter Alice Brainswin steps up to me, clear disappointment on her face as she looks at the medicines lined up on the counter. Alice, I've got everything I need. I'm just trying to get a better price, but this man won't even haggle. Alice's eyes scan the medicine on the counter. You're buying 6 monomates and 4 antidotes. Just pay the man. Now that's a customer I can work with, the shopkeeper says. Begrudgingly, I hand the man 160 meseta and take the medicine from the counter. I just let go of most of my money, but healing and antidote potions are a must for a hunter. Besides, I'll make my meseta back and more after I complete this mission. Come back anytime. His voice rings out as we leave the shop. I could have had him, I say. Maybe not half off, but at least a quarter. You can practice your haggling when you're not delaying our mission, Chaz. Alice says mercilessly. Your first one since becoming a hunter, so take it more seriously. She begins walking down the road and I quickly follow. Unlike me, Alice is already an established hunter with an accomplished history of successful missions. Despite being a young woman, she's made quite a name for herself, with some referring to her as the 8 Strokes Warrior. From what I heard, her old partner couldn't keep up with her adventurous spirit. I don't know why she chose me from among all the great hunters who would love to have her as a partner, but I'm determined to live up to whatever expectations she has for me. I am being serious, I say with conviction. You haggle for your items, and people always seem to give in. I'm a hunter now, so I need to learn how to do that too. Give up, Chaz. You don't have the knack for it, not with that baby face. Hey, I don't have a baby face. I'm 16 years old, an adult. Yeah, you don't have to keep reminding me. We finally reached the edge of town. Not only is this my first mission together with Alice, but it's my first mission as a hunter. The Hunters Guild is always recruiting people to fight the monsters that inhabit the world, and I finally became a full-fledged member, only to be picked up by one of the world's most renowned up-and-coming hunters, Alice. So you said we're going to Montavia Academy, right? I ask, mostly to fill the dead air. Yeah, the academy is in the town of Piada. It's a bit far, but you get used to travel as a hunter. Wow, so we're going to the town of learning? I wonder what happened there. Who knows? The message said, just come. We'll get the details once we're there. Since we're going to be there anyway, I'd like to tour the academy. Is that all you can think about? Keep moving or I'll leave you behind. Alice takes off at a deliberately quick pace. As hunters, we've trained our bodies far beyond what a typical person can imagine. It's not just physical training. By defeating monsters, we can get even stronger. Although the reasons for it are a mystery, nobody can deny that feeling of strength that sometimes accompanies the defeat of a group of monsters. We've equipped our enhanced bodies with powerful gear as well. Recent technological advances have given hunters far stronger weapons and armor, and many lost artifacts are scattered through the world. waiting to be found and put to use against the monsters. That said, I'm a newbie hunter. All I have is a basic set of leather gear and a couple hunter-issued daggers. Right now, I'm far from someone like Alice. As we continue down the road that leads to the academy town of Piada, encounters with monsters are inevitable. The ones around here aren't a threat, even to me. So I have plenty of time to watch Alice's refined techniques and fighting style as we battle. More monster flies, Alice says with a sigh. The giant fly-like monsters always attack in swarms, seeking to overwhelm their prey with numbers. But that kind of tactic is a poor choice against their current opponent. With a quick motion, Alice sends her slicer flying. The boomerang-like weapon has a magical property that allows the wielder to control its flight to a certain extent. Even though it's already left her hand, the slicer moves in an impossible pattern, cutting down the flies as they approach. After making a pass through the monsters, the slicer returns to her hand, stained with green blood. That's why I hate monster flies, Alice says as she wipes down her slicer. You can have the rest. All right, watch me, I say in front of Alice, my two daggers held before me. The first monster fly reaches me, and I greet it with my weapon. As expected, it dies immediately. The next meets the same fate from my second dagger, and it's quickly followed by a third. All right, I have to be close to my next level. I know it. Excited to finally be working toward completing my very first mission as a hunter, I end the life of two more monster flies. Or I tried to. My second strike was only a glancing blow against one of them, and it wasn't enough to finish it off. My attack left me a bit off balance, and the monster fly's jaw finds my forearm before I can retreat. Ow! I yell as I stick my dagger into the fly. It barely drew blood, but it still hurt. After finishing the few remaining monster flies, I turn to see Alice looking at me. Your footwork needs to improve. She gives me a merciless critique as always. Yeah, but did you see that one 3-hit combo where I took 3 monster flies down in one smooth attack? That's the least I'd expect from a hunter. She takes off down the road once again. Monster flies may be weak. That's not the case for all monsters. Yeah, I say in understanding. The monsters are getting stronger and more aggressive. Do we still not know why? No, at least I haven't heard anything. But that just means more Meseta for us. And so we continue on our half-day journey to the academy town of Piada. Monster attacks have swelled the ranks of those who call themselves hunters. But as the attacks become even more frequent and powerful, an elite few begin to wonder what is behind this outbreak. And when, and how, will it all end? The city is known for its refined atmosphere. Considering all the scholars who flock to the town of learning, that's to be expected. But there's one person here whose mood has noticeably decreased ever since we stepped into the city. That old geezer better have something important, Alice says. It was the academy headmaster who commissioned the job, right? Is it really okay to call him an old geezer? If he doesn't like it, he can stop being an old geezer. She's probably just worn out from the journey. Maybe a little exploration around town before starting the mission would lift her mood. I stop my steps and look toward a rather lively street. How about we take a tour of... Alice yanks me by my collar without missing a beat. No. I follow her wordlessly until we reach the academy. She flashes her guild ID, and they let us in without a problem.
Can I help you?
An aged man asks when we enter. Alice, Hunter's Guild, here to see the headmaster.
Ah, the 8 Strokes warrior herself. Tell me, compared to a year ago, exactly how much stronger are monsters today?
This is why coming here is... Alice says beneath her breath. Who knows? She responds loud enough for him to hear. Not my job to keep track of it. She pushes by him and heads down a hallway.
You know, the problems are only getting worse,
the scholar yells.
Abnormal climates, soil depletion, and a decreasing birth rate.
This guy is too depressing, Alice says. Let's get out of here. We take a flight of stairs, then head to the central plaza of the 2nd floor. Sitting in the middle of the large room is a masterfully crafted statue. It stands just in front of the headmaster's door, so we naturally walk right by it. God of Learning, Dr. Lubetz. I read the inscription on the statue. He was supposedly some great person from 2,000 years ago, Alice says. Weren't there ships that could travel between planets in our solar system 1,000 years ago? Are you saying he lived during those times? That's just what they say. The truth can be anything, or nothing. Alice continues by the statue and toward the door behind it. She pushes it open without even slowing her steps. We're met with the surprised headmaster's face as he looks up from a stack of documents on his desk. He quickly puts them away, then meets Alice's eyes with composure. Welcome. It's good to see you again, Alice. And you must be her assistant, Chaz. Forgive me, Alice says, but Chaz is a full-fledged partner of mine. Now let's get down to business. Why did you call for us? There are several chairs for us to use, but Alice continues to stand, so I do the same. She stares down at the headmaster. Although her expression is nearly unreadable, there's a clear edge leaking from her, making me feel as if I would be cut simply by opening my mouth. So this is the focus of the renowned hunter, Alice Brangwyn. For the first time, I get to see the reason her name has spread through the hunter's ranks so quickly. The headmaster stutters under her glare, but quickly recovers. About a month ago, mysterious monsters started to appear within this academy. They've made the basement their headquarters, forcing me to close it off. So far, no one's been hurt, but who knows when they'll appear again. Aren't those creatures dealt with? I'd like to settle this matter discreetly, if you please. Counting on your reputation, Alice. No problem, you can rely on us, Alice says. Although it's strange that all those monsters suddenly appeared in this academy. Usually monsters don't come into inhabited areas. Any idea how this happened? How would I know? Stop asking questions, just hurry and exterminate those monsters. And don't forget, I'm paying you for your services. Don't worry, I won't forget. Alice turns and walks out of the room, and I shut the door behind me when I leave. There are monsters in the basement? I ask softly. Alice makes a thoughtful sound. Sounds like there's something behind all this. Huh? What do you mean? I mean, something smells fishy here. The headmaster's hiding something. Maybe he's afraid of the monsters? I think back to the fear on his face when he spoke of them. I think there's more to it than that. A smirk falls on Alice's lips. Things are starting to get interesting. As usual, I follow Alice, and she leads us toward the basement filled with monsters. We reach a door that's been blocked off, and we barge right through. Inside, there are two notable things: the stairwell that leads down, and a young man pacing back and forth in front of them. More weirdos, Alice says as she walks up to him. He's wearing an outfit similar to many of the young scholars, but it's been enhanced to provide some extra defense and protect against the elements. Not something you'd see on a typical bookworm.
You the hunters?
He looks between us with a skeptical eye. You don't think we can do the job? Alice asks outright.
No, not at all.
I didn't mean that. Since we have the headmaster's permission, let us pass.
Wait!
The young scholar says with more than a hint of desperation.
Take me with you!
And why should we? The man finally seems to calm down, regaining a bit of poise as he stands in front of Alice. That said, he still strikes me as a kid playing warrior.
I'm Han, an assistant at this academy. I work for Professor Holt, who has gone to investigate Birth Valley for his research. But we haven't heard from him since he left, so I'm searching for his whereabouts.
Birth Valley? I say. That's that mysterious place some people call the Sacred Valley of Life. But what's the connection between the valley and the monsters? Alice asks.
After the investigation team led by the professor was reported missing, the headmaster barred everyone from entering Birth Valley. We're trying to get information as to what's going on, but he keeps evading the issue. And then this monster scare begins. There has to be a connection.
Well, it's true that there is something fishy about the headmaster's behavior.
Given the circumstance, I feel compelled to investigate the basement myself, but come to think of it, it is a bit dangerous.
Darkness envelops the stairs, preventing us from seeing what lies below. So, Alice says, you were just waiting for us to arrive.
Yes. You catch on quick!
Alice walks right up to Han and brings her hand up, one finger raised. 100 Meseta.
What?
We'll take you with us for 100 Meseta. I hope you weren't thinking of tagging along for free. Han responds with a stiff face.
I can't get that kind of money from the headmaster.
That's not my problem, Alice says mercilessly. Now, what are you going to do?
Okay, I'll pay.
A couple of hands come up, and 100 Meseta enters Alice's money pouch. Good, then let's go. I want to finish this quickly. Alice fiercely steps down into the darkness.
If you're enjoying this retelling, then consider checking out the author's original work, The False Hero. It's a faithful adaptation of the Japanese isekai genre, written for a Western audience. Available in ebook, audiobook, or box set format. Links are in the description. Of course, the audiobook version is narrated by yours truly, Mason Bourne. Stay tuned, because more chapters are coming for Phantasy Star IV Retold.